9th.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know you guys are, really busy with helping our students, but we appreciate you taking the time to be here. We're gonna start with I'm sorry, hold on.
I thought you were going to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I know, right? I pledge of allegiance. We will start with, is Susan Skinner? Are you ready, Susan, or we can?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Susan. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to honor Dr. Elva Mora. Elva has been a consistent member of the Sarah High School counseling staff for many years. I've never known her to miss a day of work. She is thorough, attentive to duties, both assigned and unassigned, never misses an IEP, a supervision, a 504 meeting. She cares greatly about her students and about Sarah High School. She has given her entire career to San Diego Unified School District. Thank you, Dr. Mora, and we wish you well in your upcoming retirement. Enjoy. Hopefully you get to go traveling soon. We're going to miss you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Dr. Mora. And
does Dr. Mora want to say a few words?
Sure. Dr. Mora? Is she here? Yes. Let's see.
She was talking, but she was muted.
Oh, okay. Dr. Mora, do you want to unmute? Let me see.
Yeah. I just want to thank everybody. I received the beautiful plaque Saturday, and I was so delighted. And I spoke to Jason about it. So thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations. We wish you the best.
We'll see.
And do we have our next retiree presenter?
Yes, that would be me.
Hi.
Okay, I'm ready. Hey, Keo, are you there? Evelyn, we met in the early 2000s at Balboa Park during a counseling outing. You were at Sarah and I was at Muir as a new head counselor. You were my daughter's spy counselor at Sarah. I think that you probably dreaded or looked forward to my phone calls, always picking yours and Patricia Khalifa's brains. I learned so much from you. Once a little girl who voyaged to America by small boat around the time of the Vietnam War and became a wonderful counselor. Behind that tough exterior is truly a counselor who loves our students and who possesses an exceptional amount of knowledge about counseling and guidance, FAFSA, the community colleges, and the list goes on. Okay, and our experiences like fantastic head counselor meetings back in the day with Melissa Janik, counseling conference and EAP meeting, carpools, SCPA College Bound Symposium presentations, NACAC, and arranging buses for our kids. Awesome CRCs, and we can't forget riding camels in Abu Dhabi while visiting NYU's newest campus, Buddy Guy's Blues Club in Chicago, courtesy of Columbia College, and cruising Aruba, Dominica, Grenada, Puerto Rico. There are many fond memories. Thank you, Evelyn, for being you. And as Dr. Seuss best says, today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive that is youer than you. We already miss you.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, Evelyn.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I just checked in.
No, you did not.
Hi, Evelyn. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you hear it? Did you hear that?
It's good to see some of you again. It's like I am like hibernating.
You
All right.
are.
Did you hear your little speech, Evelyn?
I'm sorry.
Did you hear my speech?
Yes, I didn't hear the. I don't know how much I missed, but I did hear. I think a big portion of it.
I'll
When-
send you a copy.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Jason. And thank you, Sharon. I don't know if everybody can see me, but they send me the district send me this apple plaque.
Aw.
Aww.
It's kind of hard to see on Zoom. There. I don't know with my background and all of that, but it's really nice. It's heavy. I can use it to fend somebody off.
It was a team effort. Eddie and Patrick helped quite a bit. So thank you and congratulations, Evelyn. I know we're going to be calling you soon. So just thank you very much.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Evelyn. Congratulations. Thanks, Kim. And now we have Kara Teschner. Is she here? Not sure if Kara's here. Okay, maybe we'll wait on her. But we just want to congratulate Kelly Balzer for her service to our district, who's retiring. And congratulations, Kelly. Once Kara comes in, she has a few words to speak on. Did you want to say anything, Kelly?
Yeah, if I still know how to unmute, I haven't done a Zoom in a while. Thank you all for being my colleagues over these years. It's been a great ride. Love doing a lot of the things that I've done. I can't say enough to my mentor, Carol Sobek. She was amazing. She taught me almost everything I know, at least about high school. Spent a lot of years in middle school. And when I got to high school, thank you very much. And to you, Dina Weiss, as well. You're also my buddy in crime in Gear Up. So great. Thanks, you guys.
Congratulations, Kelly.
Thanks.
Thank you again, Dr. Mora, Evelyn, Kelly, for your years of service. We appreciate you. We love you very much, and we wish you the very best. Thank you.
All right, next we will have Program Manager Toya Prophet.
Guys are whipping through it so fast. I'm like, it's probably gonna be like another 10 minutes before they get to me. And then I heard my name. Good morning, everyone. Give me 1 second. My view keeps changing. Okay. Can I share? Let's see. Can people hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So it's good to be here. It's been a while since I've been around the counselors. So this is always a wonderful space to be in. I was asked to be here today to talk a little bit about the Black History Month resources and activities that will be available so you can share. So we're in February. Just so you know, we are on the youth advocacy site for this. Youth advocacy is housing a lot of what we're doing. We have our own website, but they have what we have and a ton more, which is why we're gonna go with their site. I also wanna go to their homepage here, because when you get here and scroll down, you see all these wonderful months, right? And they already have some information in March coming up. So just a good resource to have. So going back to February, tons of information. I can't remember a year that we've done so much curating, or I've seen so much curating by the district when it comes to Black History Month. So you really have a plethora of sources. So this first part here is going to be showing you just a tiny bit of the background, some of the work that the board has done to make all these efforts possible. I would draw your attention particularly to this first one, when we're looking at Black History Month, the New York Times 1619 project, which is super popular right now, this is really the only Black History Month event as a district that we have left. A lot of our events, scrolling down to these two over here, were the Black Lives Matter Week of Action, and those were over. So just because it's over doesn't mean teachers can't go back or schools can't go back and utilize some of these activities, but that specific week is done. And then the last thing we have left is this one, the New York Times 1619 project, Why Slavery Matters, why teaching about slavery matters. As you know, some states have omitted, taken out slavery from their curriculum, which we definitely feel is a big error. You don't want to erase history, you want to learn from it, of course. So when you go here, it will take you to this website, right, where you can learn a little bit more about it, sign up for the youth event, which will eventually take you here. So this event is done in partnership with the San Diego Library. It's open to all ages. We're actually going to have students from San Diego Unified running this panel. So the lady who did it is going to be there, Ann Bailey, and she'll be answering questions digitally. Of course, it's all going to be online, from San Diego students, right? Students who've done the 1619 project or parts of it with their teacher, and all the questions that that she answers will be from students. Outside of that, you have the Say Their Names Live, which is nice. I mean, it really kind of culminates on Juneteenth, the upcoming Juneteenth, but there's activities you can certainly do to go there to lead up to that. And then lastly, over here, you have John Lewis, right? So he has a call to action that he does on a website for the former congressman, the late congressman. So these are really the activities. Asterisks on this one, that is really the big one we're doing this month. And that's with the San Diego Public Library. Scrolling down, there is so much to look at. I wanna draw your attention to a couple of things. One is this Read In Celebrating Black Authors. If you click on this link, it'll take you here and you find out about this author who wrote the book that we were just giving out. We Are Our Ancestors' Keepers, really wonderful. And then you click on the 28-day Read Aloud Archives. And this is specifically for San Diego Unified. And you scroll down, you will see faces you recognize, right? African-American people who have volunteered to do this read-in. And so each day, I think like 4, they update with the newest read-in, right? And this will go until the 28th. So something nice to do for teachers to know about, and of course for parents. Also scrolling down, we have the resources from my department for Black History Month. So when you click on this, it'll take you here, right? So this website has been live for a while. It was in the educator update, so teachers who saw it already have access to it. Again, a ton of resources. So they did something really interesting this time. They looked at queering Black history, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean Black LGBT history, but this author looked at, Dominique Hazard down here, looked at the idea of queering not just as LGBT, but looking at queering as other or voices that are left out. So you have LGBT, and then you have the untold or undertold stories of African Americans, right? And so you get to go through like those thoughts and why she did it, if that's of interest to you. And this is all through an ethnic studies lens. So you still have the 7 C's of ethnic studies and why we're doing this and how it relates to what's going on in class. But more importantly, you have pages and pages of resources broken down by grade level. So you have Rotha Kelly, one of our RTs, does a ton of resources for teachers and students. I particularly like this YouTube collage of videos they put together. Also reasons celebrating Black History Month. And then if you keep going down, you have some upcoming webinars, and they're not all for adults, right? If you see here, some are for students, for young students. And then as you go through and you have the highlights here, or the titles here in white, you have a plethora of resources about various people, African Americans. If you don't know Bayard Rustin, fantastic, amazing. I know the La Jolla Playhouse did a play on him a couple years ago that was just amazing, but he is like the author of much of the big events in the civil rights movement, working alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You have the Harlem Renaissance in here. You have Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Billie Holiday. And as you can see from over here, it just goes on and on and on. So you have lesson plans, you have activities teachers can do. I really think this is a pretty cohesive list of all the things that you can offer to students. And then as always, Ebony and her team are all about student submissions. So if we have teachers or even students on their own wanting to submit their work, they can do that. And that is down below, down here. I want to say that's about it. This is a link to our website. Honestly, if I were you, I would just click around on this page. There is, I would probably say, thousands of resources, carefully curated, and organized for ease, but there should be more than enough for any teacher to spend the whole year doing Black History Month. So I hope that's good. If there's any questions, now would be a great time, and I will stop sharing. Any questions?
Can I just say this is awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you so very much. So very, very needed. I was teaching for 12 years and at elementary and middle school, and we were always trying to come up with our own curriculum. And this is just a vast source, and I'm grateful and glad that it will be up for the rest of the year.
I have one question.
Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering, on the bibliography, do they break it down into like elementary, middle, high school, and different levels?
Yeah. Well, on the bibliography,
or in just as far as the literature, the
yes,
book?
everything is broken down by grade level. So we have Rafa Kelly, who I think is the only RT I've mentioned by name. She is a hashtag all elementary. Like that's all she does other stuff, but that's really her passion. There are book giveaways. I've already done one where we're giving away books for Black History Month. And I'm trying to remember, two of the books are just fantastic. Like I remember sitting in the parking lot and like crying a little bit, like strong crying, but it was just so beautiful. These elementary school picture books. I'm like, this is so good. So definitely I would encourage people, if you're interested, to go ahead and check out some of these book giveaways and diversifying your bookshelf, but it's definitely all broken down by grade level because no one needs that hassle ever.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay, great. Thanks for having me. The link.
Thank you for all the work that you're doing. I think we have Kara now, Teschner. She had some internet connection issues earlier, but now she's gonna be speaking some words about Kelly Balzer.
Hi, so sorry. I'm under construction and we lose internet a lot, or power. Anyway, I've had the privilege of knowing Kelly Balzer, or as my daughter calls her, Miss Balzer, for over 20 years. We met back when we were at Point Loma Nazarene University when we were getting our counseling and admin credentials together. And we immediately connected because at the time I worked at Neiman Marcus and I sold shoes. And so I always had these cool designer shoes, of course, on, and coincidentally, so did Kelly Balzer. So her husband actually was a shoe buyer for Nordstrom's. So we connected immediately because of our love and passion for shoes. Of course, that was several decades ago, but thank you to Kelly, because she, unlike me, she has kept up with fashion. And when we worked together again a few years ago at the district office, she helped me refresh my wardrobe and got me a quick tutelage on what was in style again, because I haven't worked at Neiman Marcus in a very long time. Anyway, she's been such a great friend. She's been such a great mentor to me all these years. Like I said, we had so much fun together. We laughed a lot, cried a lot, working for the district office and supporting everyone and learning all the new ropes of that new position at the time. But anyway, she is a wealth of knowledge. She knows everything. I'm still going to call and bug her all the time about things that I don't know. And I just am going to miss her dearly. So I'm holding back tears. Anyway, I'm going to miss you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kara. Congrats, Kelly. Congrats to all the retirees. Now we're going to transition into our next speaker, Marissa Maldonado. She is a fieldwork student.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa Maldonado, and I'm a school counseling graduate student at Point Loma Nazarene University. So I'm approaching the end of my master's program, so I have to write my thesis. And I wanted to do a study on something relevant in the education world in our society today. So I am focusing on school counselors' perceptions of students' needs in regard to COVID-19 and their preparedness to provide services. And so I created a survey. I'll link it in the chat in a second, but it will take about 12 minutes. It's 40 questions, and I would love to receive as much participation as possible. And as well, if you have any questions regarding the survey or would like to receive the results, probably will be in about a month or so. I can as well send those to you, but that's pretty much it. And then I'm sending the survey right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. We'll make sure we get a lot of participants for that.
Up next, we will have the SWEAR committee representative to speak about their committee. We have Catherine Delgado, who's a 12th grader from Mira Mesa High School. Hannah Griswold is a 12th grader from University City High School. And Kate Chesson, who is a 11th grader from Sarah High School.
They may not be here yet because we're ahead of schedule. Catherine, are you here? So in anticipation for the SWEAR committee, we're going to have Patrick and Allie do a duet. They're going to sing for us their favorite song from Greece.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, go for it. Do you want to time? They're supposed to be here at 10:07. So or 10
we can
o'clock.
go on to the next one.
Okay, for sure. Thank you. Sorry about the need for flexibility, but I appreciate it.
No worries. Is Molly here? Molly from Innovation Middle?
I don't see Molly here either.
Jason, do you want to do it? Are you ready to do one of the raffles?
Let's do
we
it.
Might as well.
Or I can take some time to do the survey.
Oh yeah. Marissa Maldonado's survey.
Yes,
I'm in
please
it
take
now.
it. Thank you, everyone.
So Allie, are we taking a few minutes to do the survey right now?
Why don't you do one of the raffles and then we can do the survey. Keep people peaked.
Well, I will share my screen here.
This is for the day one, correct?
Yes.
All right. So on day one, the question was, please finish this sentence. I'm all in for school counseling because, I wish I could can you guys see the whole wheel? just fine?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
We can't hear the music. Did you set music?
No. Tim
Woohoo!
Shaw with the win.
All right, Tim.
Let's see. Tim Shaw
Hey, Tim.
is all in for school counselors.
Would you like to say a few words, Tim?
It's
Well, let's
all
see.
in for
Thank
Thank
students.
you. Just love my job as a school counselor.
Thanks, Tim.
All right.
You're a winner.
Tim said, I want our students to grow up, make positive contributions to society, and have happy and fulfilling lives.
Yes.
Thanks, Tim Shaw.
Great job, Tim.
Catherine, are you here? Catherine Delgado? Molly, are you here?
So should we jump into, can we go into CCTE since Molly's not here, or this work committee?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Are you guys ready, Adriana and Alyssa? Or?
I think we need to wait a minute for Sarah since we're jumping ahead.
Oh, got it.
Dean and the rest of the group, we're going to join at 10:30.
Gotcha. Okay. So we can take a few minutes to do the survey at this point until our first swear committee people come in.
Ali, I just spoke with Sarah. She's going to join so that we can go ahead and present.
Oh, awesome. Just
Okay.
let me know when you guys are ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
The swear students are here now.
Okay. Let's get back on schedule, and the swear committee will have a few moments to speak. And I know that they have a slideshow that they're going to want to share, and then they will allow for questions after their presentation.
So is Sarah here or?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I don't know if
we're going to go with the swear committee real quick.
That's fine. Thanks.
Do I have screen share ability? Here, let's see.
Yes, you should. You could just take over.
Okay. Cool.
Hi, so hello, good morning. We are the SWEAR Committee, which stands for Student Wellness, Education, and Resources. And today we're just gonna update you on the work we've done throughout the school year and how school counselors can get involved with our work. So I'm Catherine, I'm a senior at Mira Mesa High School, and we have some of our leadership team here with us today. Hannah, you can go.
Hi, I'm Hannah Griswold. I'm the co-chair and co-founder of the SWEAR Committee along with Catherine, and I'm a senior at University City High School. Hi, I'm Kate Chasen. I'm the vice chair of SWEAR, and I'm a junior at Sarah High School.
So we are a student-led district committee. We have over representation of over 16 high schools in San Diego Unified School District, and we have over 30 members, which we're really excited about. And we have some of our goals listed here for this school year. We wanted to establish student-run groups or clubs at every SDSD high school. So our student leaders meet with us in the district, and then they go back to their respective high schools and implement our work there on the local level. We also aim to incorporate mindfulness and wellness into classroom activities, was where you come in, and we also aim to increase professional education on mental health illnesses and disorders, as well as coping mechanisms. So ultimately, our goal is just to increase wellness education and resources throughout all the schools in the San Diego Unified School District. And right now we're on the high school level, but ultimately next year we hope to expand into elementary and middle schools. Kate, this is you.
So thank you. Some of our previous actions and successes that we've had so far this year is we planned the 10 Days of Winter Wellness social media campaign, where students would perform wellness acts leading up to winter break for 10 days. And we gave stress balls to the mental health champions that that completed all 10 days of the challenge. We've, as Catherine just said, we established student-run clubs and organizations at 16 high schools in the district. We got a mental health day resolution passed at the one of the last school board meetings, so mental health days will count as excused absences. And we have all of our SWARE members collaborating with high school counselors, teachers, and their administrations to help improve wellness practices on their own campuses. Am I doing future plans too? Okay. For our future plans, we hope to incorporate mental health into the curriculum. So someone will put a link to the chat of an issue paper by one of the co-chairs, Hannah Griswold, about how different methods of incorporating mental health into the curriculum, as well as part of the mental health resolution that got passed, showed district support for Senate Bill 14, which will have 50% of the staff on campus get a certified mental health training, as well as next year and the rest of this year focusing on expanding our SWARE committee into elementary and middle schools. Hi, so we have created some goals for how we think as students SWARE could expand into middle and elementary schools. And here we outline some of our plans and goals for middle and elementary schools. So first of all, with middle schools, we will give you guys a list of our high school representatives. And if you want your middle school to get involved with collaborating with the SWARE committee, you will be able to contact your high school local representative, and maybe they can come and do a presentation at one of your staff meetings, teaching Zoom wellness strategies that we as students really enjoy. For example, polls and private chat check-ins to make sure that students are doing well in these chaotic times. And these staff meeting presentations are something that our representatives all have experience with doing at the high school level. So bringing it down to the middle school level won't be any trouble for them. And our representatives are all really excited to begin working with counselors who want to contact them. And then also there's social media outreach, and we hope that we can bring in some invited speakers to increase the education on specific mental illnesses like depression and anxiety. So we really think that our plan in middle schools is going to be pretty similar to our plan in high schools. However, of course, elementary school students are very much different than our middle school and high school students. So in elementary schools, we would aim to create healthy wellness habits. So every day in the school classroom, just doing a little bit of wellness, some mindfulness meditation, breathing exercises, meditation animations, fun music. so that students are really learning these habits from a young age. And as life gets harder as they go into middle school and high school, they'll already be familiar with these things, and taking care of their wellness will be less stigmatized as well. And we have, I know, some amazing elementary schools that have been doing great work in the wellness realm. And so we're really excited to get even more elementary schools involved and connecting you guys with resources there. So here are some of our resources. The most important one is probably the high school representatives contact list. So those are going to be the members of our SWEAR committee. We aim to have 2 high school representatives from every high school, and that's mostly what we have. We don't have representatives from a couple high schools, and if that's the case, you can contact myself, Catherine, or Kate, and we also have an official SWEAR Gmail account that you can generally email us, and we check that quite often as well. And then we have resources from youth advocacy, a meditation video playlist, everyday mindfulness, stress management for kids and teens, and 5-minute meditation that you can do anywhere. And we would be happy to provide more resources as well. This is just a short list that we came up with. So Catherine has done some amazing work in creating a SWEAR committee website. If you would also like to check that out, it is a really exciting accomplishment for her and for all of us. And we are so grateful for this opportunity to present to you all, and we're excited to work with you in the future.
Thank you, Catherine, Kate, and Hannah. This was a great presentation. We love the slides, and thank you for all the resources. I'm sure you'll have a number of counselors reaching out to you, so thank you so much. And now we'll move on to our next presenter, Molly O'Donnell from Innovation Middle. Is she here?
I'm here, yes.
Perfect. I will let you go.
Thank you. Do I know Patience had the presentation. Do I need to share it from my screen or?
No, it's in the presentation, so we can just go screen.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about EduGuide. This is a social emotional learning platform that we use this year at our school at Innovation. It's something we wanted to pilot and see how it would work, and obviously we wanted to do this before distance learning, and then kind of just still went along with it regardless of what our situation was. So it's a program that students use that's pretty much self-guided, and they have coaches. They're split up into groups, which we used our advisories for. So there's about, I would say like 19 to 25 kids in each advisory. And we have about 25 minutes a day for them to meet. And so we use 2 days a week for them to work on EduGuide. And 1 day is used for them to do lessons together in Zoom, and they do work on it on their own, but the teachers are there to guide and support them and make sure that they are doing the lessons. And then the next day they work asynchronously to complete any lessons that they might not have completed the day before. So if you go to the next slide, it's broken down into 5 different modules that the kids work on, and it's a 20-week program. So it builds upon each kind of goal that they're looking at. So growing stronger as you help others to grow, choosing your mindset, helping others find their way, failures, many uses, and smarter ways to better grades. And so there's a lot of different focuses that they go on throughout the year. And it's broken down, as you can see, into 4 different groupings in each one. So the way it kind of works is, if you can go to the next slide too, there's a prompt or a story each day where they talk about maybe something, a situation someone found themselves in, or they'll talk about an athlete and how they've overcome different struggles. And then there's these little prompts that you can see. And it asks them to reflect on whatever the story is, and how they can relate to it, or what they would have done in that situation, or advice they could have given that person, or how they could support the person afterwards, and get them to think outside the box in these real situations that have occurred, and how they can immerse themselves in it and figure out how they would relate to it and move on from those kinds of difficulties. And so the students answer each of these prompts, and there's usually, like, I would say, anywhere from 5 to 8 prompts that they will answer, and we try to encourage them to respond with more than one sentence and really think more elaboratively on them. But as you can see, some of them write things that are a lot more simple. My friends and family have brought me joy and happiness. So they're reflecting on their own personal lives also. And then the coaches can go in and see every response that the kids make. And they're encouraged to follow up with each student and give a response to them to like get them to think more deeply about it and then enter more information in so they can go back and keep adding to their responses as they go. And then there's journaling at the end of each section if they choose to do that as well, just to kind of elaborate more on their thoughts. So as an admin role in this program, I can see every single student's responses and go in and follow up with them and coach them as well. So we do a lot of, like I said, Tuesday, the teachers are there to help guide them and encourage them to do the lessons. And then when the kids are working asynchronously is when the teachers have time to go in and really coach them and read their responses, because it can be time consuming and we don't want them to have to do that in addition to everything else that they're working on throughout the day. So we give them that time to do it. And then, like, you know, I can't see every student's response. That would just be overwhelming. But it's been really helpful when the teachers get back to me and say, like, hey, can you go in and look at so-and-so's response? They seem to be having a difficult time with this, or maybe they could use more support with this. And I can go and read all of their responses and coach them on EduGuide, but also set up a time to meet with them as well to focus on it a little bit more in depth. And so it's been cool to see what a lot of their responses are, to just go in and look, whether they're positive responses or seeing where they're struggling, and see how they view things and what their perspective is. So that gives me way more information than just walking into an advisory class where they're doing a general lesson where maybe a lot of kids wouldn't respond. And so being able to hear their thoughts in this form is really helpful. So we've been kind of trying to track how our kids are liking this program because we just started this year. So I think it's on the next slide. Oh, this is another response. Every so often they'll ask how the students feel EduGuide has been helpful. And so they can self-reflect on whether or not they have felt it to be like worthwhile, if they've grown from it or if not. So that's another way to see how we see the kids, what they're gaining from it. And then the next one shows overall data, I think. Oh, these are just more responses. We can move on from that. So 96 of our students responded that they feel one or more changes in attitude, behavior, and achievement from EduGuide coaching. And you can see all the different ways it breaks it down for you. It really is helpful to look at the data they give us, because in their dashboard data, it shows that our students really are gaining something from it and have shared a lot of responses that are positive. It's interesting because we did a separate form in general asking our students about distance learning, and most of them said that they didn't think that EduGuide was helpful. But then when we look at the EduGuide results and their actual responses throughout the program, they're much more positive. So you can see that, like, students don't always, when they think about it in a bigger picture, they're like, oh no, that's not very helpful. But when they're sitting there actually responding to specific questions, they have had really positive results from that. I think there's another one on the next slide too. Oh, this is some of our students' responses. Help me improve my grades, help me talk about things. EduGuide does not help me because I can do things without it. I only put imaging what I could do without it. So that's a little confusing. But in general, there were a lot of positive responses we've read from the students replying. And of course, not all of them take it very seriously. And I think that had we been on campus, they would have been a lot more engaged in it, because the teacher would be there with them to help encourage them, like, write more extensively and answer the questions with a little bit more than one sentence. But on top of all the other things they're doing right now and trying to get students motivated, this is one thing that they, you know, another thing to push them to keep doing. And so that can be difficult. Oh, that's the next slide. So basically, I think overall, this would have been a really, really amazing tool for us to use had we been on campus. But the fact that it was distance learning does make it a little bit more difficult, but I really appreciate that it just gives the kids an opportunity to start thinking in ways that they might not normally be engaged in thinking, and it's better than a classroom lesson that may not be as focused. And it really doesn't take too much time. Like I said, they do maybe 15 minutes a day, and then the asynchronous work the next day. And it really keeps them engaged in thinking about these things and builds upon each other, each module. I had a contact page on the presentation, but maybe it didn't get added in. But if you have any questions about it, I can put my information in the chat.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Molly? Nope. Okay. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
And if people have any questions.
And next we'll have
for this,
CCTE. Thank you for waiting, CCTE.
If there's any, the SWARE committee came back too, because we were supposed to pause for
Oh,
questions.
got it.
So if anybody has any questions for SWARE, I know that they're here, and or if you want to say hi, because I know you guys, that they've been in San Diego Unified for quite a while too, the students, and I'm sure their counselors. All right, looks like there's no questions for SWARE. Thank you, students, for coming. I know if your teachers had a problem with you leaving, let me know. I will send you an excuse slip. But thank you again for taking your time out of your day to be here to present for the SWARE committee. And thank you too, Molly.
Shall we start on the next?
Yep.
Do you want me to share my screen with these slides, or do you want to just someone's advancing for us? Do you have a preference?
Eddie is advancing, or Eddie's.
Anyway, which one would you feel more comfortable?
I can share. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So if, let me just continue. Thank you for that option. Oh, I should put it in present mode. Oh, so no problem at all. I'm glad that I actually got to see the SWARE presentation and the one after that. So thanks for having us today. We are College Career and Technical Education. I'll just introduce myself. I'm Sarah Vielma. I'm the Director for College Career and Technical Education. And then two of our counselors are here as well, and that's Andriana Murphy and Alyssa Tudor. So they'll also be joining me in this presentation. I think this is the first time I've actually come to an all counselor meeting. So it's really nice to be able to see everybody and know that we have elementary, middle, and high school here today. So thank you for having us. We're going to just share a few things. This slide here, and I just enlarged my participants so I can see you also. Let me make that smaller again. And we're going to share a little bit of data around pathway completion and what that means and what it looks like in our district and then at each high school. We're going to talk just briefly about how we really see all of the counselors as partners in college and career readiness for students and really helping them learn about themselves, and then also what careers what they may be interested in based on their own individual strengths and interests. So we'll talk about that and share some resources around things that we think can help or that you may be able to use as you work with students. And then we wanted to share student opportunities so that you're aware of how we're communicating those to our students and where they are on our website. On college credit, we'll talk a little bit about that just in our pathways, but just wanted to let you know that we are going to be hosting for the new Q3 with all of the instructors that are teaching in a Q3 sequence. So a Q1 or 3 course or a Q3 and 4 course. For high school, we're going to host a credit by exam workshop for those teachers. And then we'd be happy to send that invite to counselors as well. And anybody who wanted to join those workshops is welcome to. We do work closely with our instructors on that process, but it's always good for you to know kind of what that process is for students to earn credit by their CTE course. And then college and career exploration, we'll just mention that throughout the presentation. So I'm going to start with just sharing a little bit about pathway completion and what that means. So we look at a piece of data around the percentage of students that are part of a cohort that are determined to have completed a pathway. And the way they're determined to have completed a pathway is if they pass what's labeled as the concentrator course, and that's normally in all of our high schools, an intermediate level course. And if they pass that course and then they continue on and take the capstone class in that course, in that pathway, actually this should be really say capstone there, and the capstone course with a C- or better in the same pathway, then they are a completer. So I know a lot of terms, but basically if they take the intermediate course and then continue to the advanced course and pass those, by the time they graduate, then they are counted as a completer. They can complete the pathway at any year So we do have some juniors that complete. Some schools might have some 10th graders that complete if they take that intermediate and advanced by that grade, but they're reported when they graduate. So I have some district-wide data around pathway completion, and you can see from 2015 to 2020, there's been some great progress on our pathway completion. So again, this is looking at a cohort of students each year. So the students that are part of that cohort are the ones that enter in that 9th grade year, and then they should be graduating by 2020. So you look at that total number of students. So you can see that in 2015, we were at a 10.65% rate of completers. And as of last year's cohort, 2020, we were at a 27% completer rate. So it's a large amount of percentage increase, 165% increase over time. And there's a lot of different factors that go into, you know, why students are completing pathways now at a higher rate. And some of those I'll just point out have to do with even the state's focus on that pathway completion. And so you've seen like language change, but really that focus that students, research shows that they do better in college, that they do better in high school graduation, if they're actually completing a sequence of courses related in one pathway area. The other thing that I would point out is an increase in UC A to G. So, you know, all courses, last year we submitted an additional I want to say 15 courses for UC A to G approval. So almost all of our courses now have that UC A to G approval. And then, as I mentioned, that opportunity for earning college credit as they're completing that pathway. So many benefits for students when they do that. So one of the things that we know, so what I'm sharing here is by high school. So that way you can just kind of get an idea. Some schools, only a few of them don't have pathways, and that's why you'll see the 0. East Village does have a pathway this year, so that one we should begin to see percentage of completers increase there. But you can get an idea. So we have been working with schools to sometimes adjust coding so that the sequence that students are taking, the courses are coded correctly. And then we recognize your role in really communicating to students as they're planning their courses, you know, what are those courses in that sequence? And we really want to help increase your awareness. And so we have on the next slide, tools that can help you with really knowing, you know, by cluster, kind of what are those sequences at each high school. So Andriana is going to share those sequences with you.
All righty, so as Sarah mentioned, each high school has a series, and these are all clickable links that you can access. And you might be thinking, okay, I get it, I'm in high school. These are really focused, you know, this topic is kind of maybe heavily focused on high school, but I think for elementary and middle, it's helpful to build that. What do you want to do as you move on to the following feeder school or feeder pattern? And I think once students and families see, especially our families, a lot of our families still think in the term of electives. And when they went to school, maybe in the 80s, 90s, some are probably in, you know, early 2000s, where you got to dabble, or maybe you only got to take one class and it was ceramics. But now we're really pathway focused, and it's a progression of, you know, 2, 3, and at times 4 pathway courses. And I'm starting to hear more families, especially in my neighborhood right now, use that language. So these tools are available. They are by school. There might be a few that don't have links that will have them soon.
Yes, and then these will also, on our website, we are actually adding programs of study that we feel will be a useful tool for counselors as well, that you could use with students. So it actually shows what they can take in middle school, what they can take in high school, both including the academics, all the A through G courses. There's columns for each area so that you can work on selecting, okay, what are the courses going to be for each grade level? And those are included on our website, as I mentioned, and then the sequence of courses is included there as well. But we wanted to make these easily accessible for you. And then moving into just kind of resources for you in you know, being partners in college and career readiness for students. College and career readiness and preparation is another measure that we look at. We do know that our students in the district are 60% recognized as prepared for college and career. So that is good. There's different measures that make up that, that determination if they are prepared. But some of the resources that we wanted to share with you, and thinking about elementary, middle, and high school, it's really exciting for me to be able to share these with all levels, because it is important that we start in elementary school, right? Allowing students to explore and really be aware of all the different possibilities that are out there for them. And then continuing in middle school, and they also have an opportunity to start taking some courses. And then in high school, being able to really kind of select that area that they want to focus a little deeper on. But what I want to share are, there's also links. So I think when you get the slide deck, or if you have it already, there are, you know, links here. We did partner with Nearpod, and we did purchase a subscription for our instructors. But there is a module that we added on, which is college and career exploration. And so there are pre-made presentations all through K through 12 that you can use. So I wanted to share that and let you know that if we did have to pay, you know, per subscriber. So we have a certain number of licenses. But if you are a counselor that wants to implement and wants to use these, I'd be happy to add you on. So if you just send us an email, either myself, Alyssa, or Andriana, and we can get you added on into the Nearpod platform. We just need to kind of check our licenses and where we are, but I'm happy to add if this is something you'd like to use and look at. Or we can actually even host, we'd be happy to host a follow-up session and invite you to it that focuses on the Nearpod lessons, and we can go over what's there and see if that's something you might be interested in. They do include VR career tours. I was looking at one last night. It was this one, what do I want to be when I grow up? But it was really, you know, ask essential questions and prompts for the students, and then gives them interaction for them to interact with the slide deck. I also have a link here for Discover Your Purpose curriculum. So this is free curriculum that's focused on discovering your purpose, just as a resource. And then the World of Work kits, I have a sample in the next slide, so I'll get to that there. And then I want to mention, and it may have been mentioned already, but we are piloting right now at elementary school and some of our multi-tier systems of support schools, a platform for college and career planning. And they do have a K-12 system. So we are looking at that as a possibility for us to implement in the next years. But we like that it's a K-12 system, so that we'd all be in the same platform and be able to link together, you know, different activities for our students. Okay. So then just workshops, what we would like to do and offer is that we are happy to host. So we'll be sending out some information. Just we thought of workshops for counselors in a cluster. So bringing, you know, having elementary, middle, and high school be able to come together, and we can look a little more closely at what are the pathways at those high schools, so that it helps with that communication at the elementary, middle, and then high school level. And then we'll also be hosting some parent and student workshops to do the same, to explain, you know, what are the pathway options that are available for students. One of the other things that we would like to do as an office this year is really focus on creating certificates for those students that do complete a pathway. And what I would suggest is just, you know, to talk with your school site teams about how you might want to recognize those students that do complete a pathway. Some schools do this already, and it's, you know, depends on each school, but they have different ways that they might want to recognize their students. But I just mentioned that as what we'll work on is creating the certificates with the seals for each of the pathway areas. So that way we can have those ready for students. And the next slide is back to the World of Work kits. So last year, we really looked at a lot of platforms and a lot of resources that were out there. And one of the resources that we found and we purchased to sample were what are called World of Work resource kits. They're in a box. And what comes in the box is what you see on the right here by each grade level breakdown. And these are, this is a little larger, you can kind of see it a little easier at the left. But basically they're cards that break down what are called the RIASEC codes. Whenever a student takes an interest inventory, career interest inventory, it usually always maps to Holland's codes, which are also called RIASEC because those are the initials. But really letting you know if you are more likely to be a realistic type of person, an investigative, a social, enterprising, conventional, or artistic. So those are the letters, and it'll usually give you a combination of 3 codes. So this kit has these foam boards that could actually be put into your office or in your school counseling area, so that students become familiar with thinking about their interests and career interests. And later they'll see it really map to possible careers that they may be interested in based on their interest survey. And then it has another poster about thinking about myself, my journey, the mission of me. And then there's a deck of cards. So this is the elementary level, and you can play games with it, but basically it's all different careers. So what we'd like to offer is that we have written into grants ways to support career exploration and awareness around, for all of our students. So if you would like a kit, we can purchase a kit for each counselor. And if elementary counselors share sites, we can purchase for each site and a high school level. But we are thinking that if everybody has these in their office or, as a way to work with students, it's just a way to increase that conversation with students about possible careers for the future. So we'll share more about that. We'll share out, a form for ordering, and then we'll get those ordered so that you have them hopefully for when students return soon. All right, and then the next slide. Okay, Andreana's going to take student opportunities.
So as many of you know, we are inundated with so many emails and have so many opportunities, and we are always trying to figure out various ways to make sure that students and families hear it. I know that we get frustrated when it's nobody told me, and then we reply, but we've mentioned it in 5,000 ways. So we have another means of posting opportunities, which include highlighting some scholarships and such, and that is on our CCTE website. It is an actual link, which is here in the slide as well. Little buttons, little tabs, just kind of that quick scan, or I like that, click with the more opportunities and listed. So that's TK through 12.
Yeah.
And we welcome you to check it out.
Yeah, this is a new platform that we implemented this year. Basically, it adds tiles for every opportunity, and you can scroll through all the different opportunities. And then this button up in the corner is a category you can filter by scholarships, by internships, to see the different opportunities. So this is one platform, and we, as I mentioned, we've been building it. And so now we're kind of getting ready to get the word out. And so we'll be sharing this with students and families, that this is a place that they can go to see some of the opportunities that either we're hosting or that others are hosting, and we want to share that information. We also have a calendar, and you can see the link up here, and we'll be putting those onto a shared calendar where it has all of the events that students or teachers we've been using it for teachers, but we'll begin adding opportunities there as well that you can share with students. This is one data slide that I just wanted to share. This is actually events that we have hosted. So during this year, when we've been virtual, we've hosted different speaker series. We're hosting a 10 series session for students around work readiness and financial literacy and entrepreneurship with junior achievement. That's the ambassador program. And you just see the numbers of students that have been participating. It's actually been quite exciting to see students really receptive and really wanting to get more of these types of activities. So we're continuing to add opportunities for students in this area. So since October, we have had over close to 3,000 students participate in these different sessions. And there's, as Andreana mentioned, there's more coming that, both we're hosting and others are hosting. So we'll continue to add those. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. I should have turned off my notifications. Okay, go ahead. Oops, goodness. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
And are you okay still clicking on the links when we get to these that are hyperlinked?
Yes.
Great, perfect, thank you. So I'm Alyssa Tudor. For those of you who have not met me yet, I am one of the district resource counselors supporting the CCAP program in the CCTE department, working alongside with Andreana Murphy and with Sarah Vielma. We will be hosting this spring a few meetings for our CCAP liaisons at each of the high school campuses. For those of you who are elementary or middle school counselors who may not know what CCAP stands for, it's our College Career Access Pathways, and it really allows for our high school students a seamless pathway transition from the high school setting into either like career technical education or general ed into the community college. And so we have a partnership agreement with the San Diego Community College District. We have MOUs in place where our high school students have the opportunity to take college courses through the high school campus. This year, of course, it's been through Zoom, so a little bit of a different experience for our students, but it's a really great opportunity to be able to experience what college is like and those courses are like. So we'll be hosting some meetings this spring for our liaisons regarding fall. We've already held a few this school year, and we will just be going over some of the final planning items that need to take place. In addition to that, we are gearing up for our parent sessions, our family nights that we host every year. And we have a new presentation we're very excited to share with all of you. And so each high school campus will be hosting a parent session for our families, for parents and students and guardians to attend, to learn a little bit more about CCAP, what courses may be available, and different opportunities through the CCAP program offered through the high school campus. So we'll be sharing that presentation. Sarah's going to click on it right now just to kind of give you a preview, but we'll be sharing this presentation later this week after we do one more run through on it. So we go over what CCAP's all about. We talk about on this slide here, if they've already previously been enrolled with CCAP, what are the steps they need to take, and then for our new students, what to expect in the CCAP program, the eligibility for it. We do discuss FERPA. And then we also have links, hyperlinked links into the presentation for different resources at each campus. And then just points of contact and then collection forms. So all of those paper forms we used to do in the past, we now have them digital. And so those will be coming out as well. That is actually with the application sessions. I'll just talk about that briefly as we're linking to the digital binder. Andriana and I have been hosting application sessions every afternoon with our CTE or credit by exam students and CCAP students to assist students with creating an account for the San Diego Community College District, as well as completing the application. So really allowing the opportunity in a small group setting, but also being able to do breakout sessions with students who need individual support. So we'll be hosting those this spring as well for our students who will be taking CCAP classes this next upcoming fall. A new piece to what we're providing families is called a digital binder. We'll be sharing this with our high school liaisons later this week as well. And we have all these different tabs. We go over what is CCAP, Canvas, and some of our students have been very confused about Canvas, and we have the Canvas platform throughout San Diego Unified, and then we have the Community College District one. So we're providing them directions on how to access the one through the college. Different services that are available at the college, and then they can click on the links to access those services, how to withdraw from a class once they've received permission from their high school counselor, how to request transcripts, and then just different resources as well. And so we've really tried to think of what can we provide each family that they'll have at their hands to be able to reference throughout the semester of their college experience.
Thank you.
One thing I didn't include on here, but I did want to touch on is Promise. Students in grades 9 through 12 did receive information through Naviance this last week on a Promise event that the San Diego Community College District will be hosting. That is going to be on, I have to see here, I forget the date off the top of my head, but it is upcoming, and we'll be sending more information out very soon about the event. It's for all families to be able to attend, just to learn a little bit more about Promise. And if we have any students that are seniors and are graduating, it's a really great opportunity for them to attend to learn what are the steps that they need to complete in order to qualify for Promise.
And students, yeah, students can qualify, get free, no tuition for their years at the community college district. So thank you, Alyssa. And I just wanted to mention that, like, as we transitioned and moved into like this online learning environment, we were really thinking about our students taking college courses. And we know that when they're on campus, there's a lot of support and people that can visit classrooms and make sure students are getting onto the right place. But in this online environment, that's when we realize this type of digital binder can be really helpful in how we can communicate with students. But we also think that going back, it could be a great resource for you and for us to be able to use with students, so that as they're enrolling in these types of courses, we have this resource for them. So it'll be a collection, a location for us to use. We found that template and we thought, oh, let's use this for all different ideas. So, we're excited to roll that out. And then the last slide is just our contact information, but our emails. And so, if you have ideas or things that we can support you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always thinking about, ways to support our students on their journey in preparation for college and career and in partnership. So we really appreciate our partnership, with Sharon and kind of the things that she's supporting, all of the counselors, and then all of the district counselor team. And then it's really great to know all of you at all of the sites. So thank you for all that you do. And thank you for having us be here today.
And Alyssa. Now we are going to move on to Ally Action from Make Raven.
Hello there. All right, just putting folks on gallery view. Thanks for having me this morning. Let's see here. Do I have the ability to share my screen?
Yeah, you do, Mick. Go for it.
Okay. So before I get started, I'm just going to introduce myself really quick. My name is Mick Rabin, and I'm a project resource teacher in San Diego Unified School District. My pronouns are he and him, and I work extensively on a variety of different things, including bullying intervention. That's kind of my main thing. I've been leading a program called Ally Action throughout San Diego Unified School District for about the last 5 years. Sort of built it from the impetus being that we had a lot of people that would respond with, they'd be sending in bullying reports from their different schools and needed to be able to respond to some of those things with some different ideas for students to be able to help each other. We as adults do plenty of different things, counselors, teachers, principals. We do all kinds of different interventions to support students when they are in a place where they feel like they're being excluded or bullied or harassed. But oftentimes this pivots to who sees it first and who witnesses it first. And that's 99% of the time, that's going to be the students themselves. Oftentimes we don't hear about what happens out there on the playground or in the hallways or in the restrooms. And because the ones that find out about it the last, it's usually the kids themselves that are that funnel. They're sort of like the ones that are witnessing it themselves as it's happening. And the point of Ally Action is to give students some tools to be able to strategize and help and actually assist when somebody needs it the most. So this morning, there's a little presentation I'm going to do. And I first wanted to just challenge all of you to write something in the chat. And so what I've done is I've put a little prompt in the chat just now. This is for everybody. And it says, if you were a student who witnessed some classmates excluding another classmate from sitting at a lunch table, what would you do to intervene? So write something in the chat. If you were a student, not as a counselor, if you were a student back in your student days, what would you do? Jason, exactly. A lot of students would do exactly that. Nothing. Thank you. If you were a student, what are some different things you could do when students are kind of being mean and purposefully excluding somebody? right? A lot of different ideas. Invite that student to come sit. Tell an adult, outreach to the student. Awesome. All right. And so thank you. That's awesome. So now what I want to do is kind of challenge you to think about different scenarios as they kind of unravel. Maybe it's an exclusion situation. Maybe it's a public humiliation situation where somebody says something cruel to another student in front of a group of people. Maybe it's a physical form of bullying where somebody is physically harming somebody or threatening to physically harm somebody. What do you do in those situations? And there's just so many different variables to consider. What's really important is that students know that they actually have a variety of different responses. What we don't want is for them to choose nothing, because traditionally that has actually been the case. When they see bullying happening in all its various forms, most people, not just students, but most people choose to do nothing. You've seen videos, on TV. They have entire TV shows devoted to what people would do when they're, being filmed, and they don't know they're being filmed. And what do most bystanders do? Nothing. So we want to kind of move them to a place where they feel like they can actually do something. So what I've done is I've put together a little presentation. I'm going to share it right now with you. So let's see where that goes. Okay. And hopefully my sound is working okay. Give me a second. I'm just checking the video. Be able to see you all. Okay. Right, and just a quick show. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my presentation. It says ally action, moving the private bystander. Is able to see that? Thumbs up? Yes? No thumbs up. Uh-oh. People may not be able to see it.
We can see it.
You can see it? Okay. All right, so hang on a second. I'm moving my panel. Here we go. Sorry. Clumsy with the chat box and everything else. All right, so there's an online bullying reporting form, and you're all aware of that. But what do the kids do themselves when they're presented with a situation where they see bullying? I want to show you a video really quick of the students that actually participated in Ally Action in the past. We put together a little video to give you a sense of what it's about. It's a little bit difficult to describe in its entirety, and I figured I'd let the students do it themselves. So here we go.
Think back. Think back on the last time you observed harm being unleashed upon someone you knew. Who was harmed? Who caused the harm? What did the harm look like? What did it sound like? How did it make you feel at the time?
Was it physical harm, or was it more subtle, like somebody publicly shaming another?
Were excluded from a group because of their accent, their religion, who they're attracted to, maybe a rumor spread because of the way they express their gender.
Have you ever found yourself wondering afterwards what you could have done in these situations? Why do bystanders do nothing?
When we see a harm done against a person we care for or even a perfect stranger, we have all had a moment where we thought that we should do something to help the person who is being harmed.
And we chose to sit on the sidelines.
But this is the hardest work there is. It's done by those who see the fear for what it is and still manage to get the courage to take action.
We at Audubon are beginning a new program called Ally Action. It examines all of these questions and much more. More than anything, it is student-driven, and we are looking for some strong student leaders who are interested in joining our team.
Are you ready to take a step forward into Ally Action?
Ally Action is a student group that will be meeting once a week the next 15 school weeks.
Each sessions will be an hour long. It will be led by resource teacher Mick Rabin and Mr. Escalante, our Audubon school counselor. At the end of the process, we will be leading the entire Audubon staff through the student-to-staff training and building a foundation for transforming the way the school is, starting with ourselves. If Ally Action is something you're interested in, please fill out this online form.
It will be critical for those who join Ally Action to be reliable about attendance. We are interested in your experience and your leadership skills, and we are equally interested in those who are keen on learning and making the best version of themselves. We will be moving the school climate needle from a culture of bystanders to a culture of upstanders. Please ask your teachers for further details.
Sometimes I just shrug off bullying. Like, sometimes I would see it as, oh, it's just somebody being mean to someone. But I kind of changed. Like, I'm not going to let somebody, even if it's one single time, I'm not going to let that happen to them. And I'm going to be an upstander and I'm going to help them. So I transformed and kind of to a bystander into an upstander.
As I said before, like you thought of all these things before and seen people be bullied, and you probably thought about it at some point, but it wasn't at the forefront of your mind. But like as we went through the meetings, you just remember all these things, and then you're like, that I could have done that, or I should have done that. And so in a way, all the meetings were transformative.
And doing the action program helps me be more confident, less afraid to take action, and caring less sort of about what people might think, but doing the right thing. A transformative moment for me was that before joining here, I thought that bullying was mostly about how people called you mean names or they pushed you around or punched you. Now that I joined Ally Action, I know so much more, and now I can help more people than I could before.
Before Ally Action, I definitely thought that when something was going on, like if someone was being bullied, there wasn't really much I could do. That didn't include going up to the person who bullies and telling them to stop. And I didn't really want to do that. So I didn't really think there was a way for me to help someone in a bullying situation. But throughout Ally Action, I learned that there are many, many different ways to help someone that don't include going up to the person who bullies. So that was definitely very transformative for me.
For the person who bullies, I'm like, they're just at the beginning, I'm like, they're probably just being mean for whatever reason. But then a bunch of information later, I'm like, this could actually be a problem for the person who bullies. It could be part of their background or things they're going through for their house life, not in school, or their parents or something like that. Before you do Ally Action, you just think, oh, bystanders don't do anything because they just can't gather their courage or just don't feel like it. But then once you learn all the stuff about why bullying happens, you think about it a completely different way and you understand more of why bystanders don't do anything.
But I was like, so I'm not really sure why it's at this school because there's no bullying. There's not really any bullying at this school. But now I realize after taking part in the program that bullying is actually in our school and it's in every school, and sometimes it's hidden so well you can't even see it. I think that one of the most impactful parts of Ally Action for me was that I learned so much that I didn't know before, and with all this info, I feel a lot more confident to help people when they need it the most.
There was a huge portion of people who do want to do something, but just are too afraid to do it.
For before, I feel like I wasn't sure if there were more people who felt the same way, who wanted to take action but just didn't, either due to fear or some other reason.
One of the most impactful parts of Ally Action, at least from my point of view, is the presentation we did on Zoom that I think really impacted the teachers and staff of Language Academy. And I think it really impacted them on the way they see bullying.
Being an ally to me means helping other people and letting them know that they're not alone in whatever they're going through, and that they can do it. They can overcome it, and they can stand up to people, and that they have a voice. And that's what being an ally means to me.
To me, to be an ally, it means to just be there for people, to just let people, your classmates, even a stranger, know that like you're there for them whenever they need you. Because if you're an upstander, not a bystander, people can count on you to help them out whenever they need it. And I think that's one of the best things that you can do.
All right. So I'm going to wrap up because I know we're shy on time, but I just wanted to say to you, I've been working extensively with counselors throughout San Diego Unified for about the past 5 years, and would be thrilled to be able to work with you. If I haven't had a chance to talk with you, one of the counselors that's out there, we do collaborative work and kind of a training of trainers model. It works for grades 3 all the way up through grade 12. If you're interested in the program as the students kind of pitched it, I can work with you and would love to be able to help launch a program of Ally Action at your school site. It's a sustainable program that's meant to be able to continue to exist after I work with you, so that the student leadership team that we build is going to be able to sustain the work. And I apologize for running out of time. I actually had an interactive component, but not enough time to be able to lift that. So I want to say thanks to Clara, Robin, and Allie, who were willing to help me out, but we just ran out of time. And with that, anybody want to reach out to me, I'll throw my email in the chat, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mick, and for the work that you're doing with our students. I think our next is we're doing the raffles. So Jason and Sharon, take it away.
All right, folks. Well, we did day 1 earlier. Now we're going to move on to day 2. Let me share my screen. And Tim Shaw, if you win again, why don't you go ahead and let me know so we can use it together, the gift, whatever you win. All right, here we go. Oh, I totally thought it was going to be Katie Morgan. Emily Mumsy Moms, congratulations.
Woohoo! Is she here? That's the question.
I am. I'm right here.
Good for you, Emily.
Awesome.
What if we were like, Emily? Emily. Oh, let's do it again. All right, so day 3, the question was, I'm all in for collaboration. I am all in for collaboration. And the winning response goes to, I'm going to guess, patient.
The anticipation.
Oh, Kristen Leahy from La Jolla High School.
Oh, patience, so close.
Are you here, Kristen?
Is Kristen here?
Kristen?
Going
Going
once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Oh no!
Better remove that name.
Let's do it again.
Do it again.
No texting Kristen to tell her to jump on. It's gotta be Katie. Oh, Katie Delfray from Wilson Middle School.
Katie, are you here?
I'm here, I'm here. All right. So much fun. Day
All right.
4. There is music options.
Congratulations to the winners.
I'm gonna
Thank you for being here
redo
today.
my screen share to get the
sound. So this is a fun thing that it's the Wheel of Names, I think is the name of the and it's free. So all you do is you just put the names and run it, and it's amazing. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. So let's make it fun.
Day 4. The question was, I'm all in for equitable and hey, is it gonna be Emily again? Congratulations, Emily.
Emily, whoa. I'm really on a roll.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you didn't leave, Emily?
And Emily's response was, all students need to feel valued and important. Hopefully, if they feel this, they will help to build a more inclusive community outside of school too. Couldn't have said it any better ourselves. Thank you, Emily. Day 5, I'm all in for school counseling because you are gonna win. Like an all in for school counseling. Oh my goodness.
Yes, that makes it so easy.
I gotta do a better job of spinning the wheel.
Clearly fixed.
Well, we got Tim Shaw winning day 1, Emily winning day 2 and 4, and Katie winning day 3 and 5. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for all those that played. So I look for your email because I will be sending you an electronic gift card via your school email. So thank you for playing. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry we went over. It was a challenging day technology-wise for everyone, it seems. So, hey, it happens to the best of us. So thank you. Have a great time. Our next all-school PD is not until April, but we have our March group meetings that we hope to see you. And I guess if anybody else has any parting words.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. Congrats to the winners. Congrats to the retirees.
Congratulations to all the retirees.
Rest of your short week.
Congratulations. Yes, take Friday and Monday off. How's that? Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.